Hello Captains, it's me TONIK TZW. Yes, we are here again in the Plymouth. This one is called Supercharged. Now about once every 100 games I pull off something a little bit special, and I think you all know what that is. It's the Kraken Unleashed medal. That's about one every 100 games that I've played in Standard. About every 1 in 1,000 games you get one of those matches that is memorable for all the right reasons. It is the one game that you talk to your friends about, to your fleet mates, to your PlayStation buddies, and this is going to be one of those games. I was going to be doing a live stream tonight, but I've had a very long, busy few days at work this week, and it's just taken it out of me. And I thought I'll get on, play a warm-up game, see how I feel. The change that I've made here, and thank you for the tip from a very useful friend from Task Force Kraken, you know who you are. They said, try the Plymouth with Supercharge on. This is one of the new mods in slot 2, I think it is. I can't remember what I replaced with it. But gosh, I'm leaving it on here, and I think there are a couple of other British cruisers that are going to benefit from having this module on. I'm looking at you, Hampshire. Would it benefit the Minotaur just as much? I'm not sure, but we can give it a go and see what we can come up with. I did buy 5 Azure Lane crates. I decided that I was going to limit myself to 5 crates for each collaboration. All I managed to get was some credits, some camouflages, and a skin for the Massachusetts. So that's all the money that Wargaming are getting out of me this update, and I doubt very much I'll get anything from my free crates. But this game more than makes up for the disappointment in getting trash from crates. But it is a gamble, and that's why I say only spend what you can commit to. Now, this game was not all going to go my way. It wasn't helped by the fact that we only had 1 destroyer and we had a lot of potatoes. And I am going to pull a little bit of a chicken run. I'm not ashamed to say that. But that chicken run saved my skin, and it potentially saved this game. But there's somebody a little less fortunate. In fact, there are a few players that are less fortunate than me in this game, and we'll get to them in turn. But we've got an Azure Lane Agir out there. We've got an Azure Lane Agir on our team. He is right across there on the left flank, pushing round the outside of the island. And the thing is, with premium ships like this and all the content that Wargaming throw at us, it does mean that anybody with a credit card or even the password to the PlayStation purchase options can go in, they can buy crates, they can buy ships, they don't need any experience, they don't need any skill, all they need is money, and they can be up here playing all these newfangled ships without a clue what to do with them. Now we know we've got an Agir out there, we have got the Wisconsin. We've got very floaty AP shells here, but I'm just thinking he's sailing into that cap pretty much broadside. How much damage can I do him as he's spotted? But we've already lost 1 cruiser who went round the outside of B cap there. Red team have their DD in the left-hand cap. They've got that. But the destroyer is going to be spotted out on that left flank, and even though the destroyer is spotted away from the cap, the 2 battleships to the south of the flank aren't going to push in because there's a cruiser in there. But 2 battleships versus 1 cruiser, we know who would win in that one. Even if he kills one of yous, there's still one of yous can push through. But now our team is going to get happily trashed, and it's not going to work out well for us. That is until TONIK turns the dial up to 11. But that Wisconsin is taking damage. He's hit the islands, and even though we've got an increase in dispersion of 5% running the supercharged mod with 16 guns on this thing, I think it is, that's a lot of shells going downrange. And you'll also have noticed from the splash screen that I am running a legendary mod in slot 4, which means for every kill that I get, I'm getting an extra 5% damage. And for every 30,000 damage I get, I'm getting a 2% reduction in my reload. And there we go. We've just hit 60,000 damage. You see the purple icon there on the right-hand side of the screen. That means I've got a 4% reduction in reload. And the gold or yellow-coloured icon means I've got 5% extra damage. And I'm going to be telling this destroyer to get back out of the cap, because sitting in it and not spotting is not doing the team any favours. He would be better off pulling out of the cap, out of that smoke screen, spotting the targets, and then being able to put the torpedoes on, and I could keep the cap reset and keep whittling those guys down. But there's a Wichita pushing in. The fact that he's firing his guns obviously means that he's got his radar running. The destroyer is now trapped in the cap with 2 cruisers, 1 battleship. That was a shot from our Wisconsin, and I'd like to apologize to our Wisconsin here, because I am going to take the kill on that one, but also I am going to kite away. But that's given me an extra 5% on top of my extra 5% damage to give me a 10% damage increase. And now we are going to start trying to hit this Azure lane again. And all I want to do is put this Wisconsin between myself and I think it's a Richelieu out there and this Aegea. We're going to have to wiggle our tail a little bit. We're not exactly agile cruiser, but we do have quite a bit of movement in that back end that can hopefully keep us from getting shot too much. Oh, that got a little bit close there. But look, the Wisconsin there, he's pretty much full health. I know I am as well, but I can't take a hit as well as he can. I am still spotted, and I realise that that is from the battleship. And this is where keeping an eye on the minimap always pays, because he's low health, and I'm thinking, okay, we can try and save this battleship that's on CCAP by taking care of this Odin. We know that the destroyer is out here somewhere because he was last spotted on the left flank. I pop my smoke screen thinking I can whittle this guy down, but the carrier, and I must give this guy a shout out, Saeed MM. He's in the Chukalov. The Chuckle Brother, as I like to call it. I was going to say Ochikov there, but that's a cruiser. But he is going to play an absolute blinder. Now, I ping the map because, being a destroyer main, I know what that destroyer is likely to be doing, and I want to give him a warning on where that destroyer is likely to be. But our Wisconsin hasn't been able to keep... which cap is it there? Charlie cap? No, A, B, Bravo cap. He hasn't been able to keep it reset, but he is going to push in. Now, you're probably asking me, if there's a destroyer out here, why are you sailing in a straight line? Why haven't you popped your sonar yet? Well, it's because I know there's a good chance he's on a reload. I know there's a good chance that he's at range off on my left flank. So I want to sail in a straight line to try and bait him into firing his torpedoes, and then pop my sonar and put a turn in just to give me plenty of warning of where those torpedoes are going to come from, because they are coming from the rear. The fact that they are coming from the rear means that they're going to approach me a lot slower than if I was just sailing a straight line and they were coming from my broadside. So using my knowledge, and I'm tapping my head here, of how I'd play destroyers, or how destroyers are played, to basically give myself an advantage. And I was thinking, has this Wukong got smoke? Has it got torpedoes? I don't know, I can't remember, but I tell you what he hasn't got. What he hasn't got is an internet connection, and luckily for me, this guy is disconnected, and that is so unlucky for him, and I feel so sorry. But it is going to be a cheap and cheerful kill for me here as we finish him off and sail into this capture point. Much like destroyer play, you know how painful it is to sit for a solid minute in a cap. The most difficult and dangerous thing here is that we have got an aircraft carrier in the game on both teams. It is 3 ships plays 2. Red team have got quite a significant advantage here. What's that? We're looking at almost 300 point advantage. I'm on 97,000, so I've got a 6% reduction in my reload. I've got 3 kills, which gives me 15% increase in damage. There's the split. There's a gear. No, it's not a gear. I can't remember what it is now, but it's out there. But the first thing that's coming towards me is torpedoes from the carrier. Smart thinking here. I already had it slammed in reverse. We're going to back up. We're going to use the corner of this island. But the question is, what planes has he got next? Because this guy's planes were fast. This guy's carrier was extremely fast as well. And we'll see that a little bit later on the game. It surprised me at how quick that guy could run. But we're just waiting for the clock to tick over there. We take the cap. The carrier is heading away from where the destroyer was, and he's heading up to that right-hand cap. There we go. It is the gear. We're going to try and stay a little bit angled to him. Now we're going to have to push into him, and at the same time, we're going to have planes coming in on us as well. We get a shatter there off our turrets. This guy's planes are going to be harassing me from now until the end of game. This is where it's either be a hero or be a zero. He's fired at me. He's hit the island. I don't know what he was doing there. He obviously wasn't paying attention. Situational awareness is absolute zero, because that island is as big as Greenland. And if Donald Trump knows where that island is, then I'm sure that guy in the Azulian gear should have been able to see that giant rock in front of his face. But we're going to get bounces and shatters here off this guy. But with the reduced reload, with the increase in damage, we are chipping away, rotating through those turrets. We're trying to turn into him as we fire. And are we going to kill him? Come on, we got to kill him. Come on, there we go. That's it. We're down to just under 50% of our hit points, but the carrier is already onto me with his torpedo bombers again. And at this stage of the game, I'm thinking, I need to push, I need to kill this carrier. And our carrier, if he can get onto that cap there, he can save the game for us, potentially. But the split is getting greedy. The carrier is coming in for a run on the rear, and you know me, if it's spotted, I'll try to take a shot at it, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to eat a couple of torpedoes here. Luckily, they're only low damage. We lose, what's that, about 6,000 hit points. But this split, he has made his mistake in opening fire. I have a super rapid reload. I'm doing the extra damage, and I'm looking at what this guy is doing. He's popping his smoke, but that smoke screen is not going to save him, because the shells are in the air. They're on the way, 16 of them at a time, and that is Kraken Unleashed number 242. And here come the torpedoes again. We are still losing this game, though. The carrier is pushing towards the cap as fast as he can, and every time I see planes above my head, I'm thinking, I'm dead. This is it. Game over. But no, we managed to soak that torpedo right before it arms. But where is he coming from this time? He's coming from behind. We're going to have to wiggle the tail again. We aren't shooting these planes down quick enough. It is absolutely shocking. Anytime I give carriers a go in AI, it seems that my planes don't last 3 seconds, but this guy is flying squadron after squadron over my head, and although we are shooting them down, we aren't shooting them down quick enough, we aren't doing enough damage to them, and he is getting his drops in us. It would be great if our carrier would drop some fighter planes over my head and give me a bit of a hand here. I'm not sure if he's done that. He might have, but we're going to get some guns onto the saipan across the top, but then he's going to disappear behind the island. We pick up not a Kraken, we've already got the Kraken. We pick up a Confederate and a high caliber on 145,000 damage. So we have done 30% of the overall damage to the team. We have hit at least 6 ships for a minimum of 20% of their hit points. We've hit a single citadel, and we are running into this cap, but I'm looking at the clock thinking, can we turn this quick enough? I don't think we can. There isn't enough time on the clock, and I need to keep moving. I can't afford to sit still here. As we take another torpedo to the bow, we're down to 6,000 hit points. This is not survivable. I was literally hanging on the edge of my seat with my foot up on my vintage Victorian gout stool that was so kindly provided to me by my girlfriend Claire. Thank you, Claire, and thank you to Claire's mum for donating this to me while my leg is bad, but I am keeping it permanently. If you don't know what a gout stool is, go and Google it. But here we go, the saipan is running. I did put my torpedoes against the front of the island in case he came round, but yeah, put this salvo out there, another salvo. I'm trying to lead him as much as I can, and just as I think those shells are going to give me a 6-pack, the carrier swoops in, takes the kill. I don't mind that because there were 12 seconds left on the clock. Whoa. Honestly, I know people say that I sound like a sports commentator, but that is the level of energy that was flowing through that game. A whisker under 4,000 XP for me, and just over 3,100 XP there for Saeed. You look at some of the scores there for our team. Those guys were on 800 base without their XP bonus. Thank you to everybody who is a member of the channel. I need to check the list and possibly update that. You can leave a super thanks on the video. You can take out a channel membership for like 99p a month, or there is a PayPal link in the description if you'd like to make a direct donation. Please do smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment down in the box and let me know what you think about that one. I think Supercharged is going to get some abuse on my British cruisers. Hope you have a great week, guys. As always, until next time, take care of yourselves and goodbye.